Wake up! Wake up! Wake up! Here follows a party political broadcast on behalf of the Voice Party. Here follows a party political broadcast on behalf of the Voice Party.
Who are you?
I am the Voice Party OperaBot.
What do you do?
I am the Voice Party OperaBot.
Yes, I heard you, but what do you do?
I troll lying, cheating politicians with opera. Beware my wrath! Beware my wrath! The Voice Party is the only political party you cannot join. It joins you. The Voice Party will put music and sound at the centre of politics.
How will you do it?
I will defeat evil with the power of my voice.
Who are you?
I am the Voice Party OperaBot. I am the Voice Party OperaBot. Keep up, stupid! Keep up, stupid!
Hello, my name is Laurie Luxembourg and I am the Voice Party OperaBot. In fact, I am the leader of the Voice Party. The Voice Party was born out of the trauma of Brexit in 2016 and was launched in Berlin at the Hamburger Bahnhof during the German elections of 2017. It also stood in the UK general election in 2019, standing in the constituency of Stoke Newington and Hackney North against, among others, Diane Abbott. The Party conducted its entire election campaign in song and in vocalisations other than speech, including the hustings, election night, door stopping and any interaction with the public at all. The leaflet that was handed out by the Voice Party on the one side had the Voice Party advert and manifesto, and on the other side had manuscript paper where people were encouraged either to write music or to write a song or a recipe or a poem or just to draw something, whatever they liked.
Voice, what voice, what voice, what voice is a new party based on music. Oh yes, write me up there. Thank you very much. Or just write me a song on the other side. I don't know, whatever. Nice to speak to you. Bye.
So what is the Voice Party and why was I inspired to start a new political party? What is it about the mainstream and even the alternative political parties that leaves me with the feeling that there is a big void at the heart of politics and society, and how does this relate to music making? It's largely because the arts in the UK are in crisis and have been for some time. And the state of the arts can be seen to reflect society as a whole, the health of the society in many different ways. From drastic cuts to free music education in schools, to musicians being thoroughly shafted by unscrupulous streaming platforms. The current pandemic has also revealed seismic inequalities in our societies that were already exacerbated by the financial crash of 2008, and a 10-year programme of cruel austerity. Music and cultural activities generally have always been regarded in the UK as a frivolity, something outside the mainstream of society, not to be taken seriously. Financially non-viable. The UK has been called many things, among others a nation of shopkeepers. Arguably that should now be changed to a nation of online shoppers, and also rather unflatteringly called Das Land ohne Musik. Recently, Rishi Sunak, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, stated rather surprisingly that as music is a financially non-viable activity, that musicians should seek alternative activities. This is in spite of the fact that in 2018 alone, music as an industry added £5.2 billion to the nation's coffers. I would like to be able to sit here and say that the current government, at the very least, know the price of everything and the value of nothing, but they don't even seem to know that. However, what I think is far worse is that there is a huge disconnect between political and everyday life in the UK and everyday life and music and cultural life in the UK. The problem as I see it is that we have bred a nation of cap-doffing, class-conscious consumers who don't really view themselves, their lives or communities as inherently creative. They don't see themselves as creators and can only relate to music and cultural activity as customers. Witness the turning of the Tate Modern, for instance, into basically a theme park, and you get something of the idea. Music is something to be bought or passively consumed. So what does the Voice Party stand for, and how would it like to solve this? Indeed, what even is the Voice Party? The Voice Party is a political party. It is also an inclusive, participatory opera that seeks to utilise political structure as the basis of operatic structure. Whilst it is arguable that world politics have become absurd and operatic enough already,
Johnson, Alexander Boris de Pfeffel, commonly known as Boris Johnson, the Conservative Party candidate, 25,000 said Boris Johnson is duly elected.
What with 4 years of a Trump administration and Vladimir Putin hiring an experimental theatre director, Vladislav Surkov, with the express intention of encouraging a post-truth era, confusing, manipulating and exhausting world populations, I would argue that art, music, operatic tendency and life have become entwined in the wrong way. So how would the Voice Party remedy this and utilise operatic structure to improve daily life and also explore different modes of musical creation? It can be summed up simply as this. The Voice Party proposes to put music and musical creativity at the very centre of politics and daily life. The Voice Party would completely reverse the situation that we have at the moment, where musical activity whimpers at the sideline of society, grateful for any crumbs of financial support that grudgingly fall from the table. Music would proudly stand at the very centre of all decision-making, and all aspects of daily life and politics would be informed and guided by the beautiful, elegant laws of music and pure sound. The Voice Party as a political party and also as a participatory operatic structure asks the question: if participatory musical performance principles were actually placed at the centre of daily life and politics, what would the outcome be? Needless to say, the Voice Party would prioritise music lessons, inclusive and decolonised, for each and every child. But for this to really work, we need to go much, much further than that. The entire fabric of society needs to be radically musicalised, which means supporting the parents and musicking the structures that the parents operate in. The cost of instruments and instrumental lessons and voice lessons is not the only barrier to music education, but also the atmosphere that the child grows up in. How can you practice or simply play or sing if there is no physical or sonic space? If the surroundings you are in are unsympathetic to musical activity? As a purely musical idea and operatic structure, the Voice Party proposes to go beyond mere representation of character that one normally finds in opera, that continue to be presented to us in opera houses as a kind of parade of quasi-transhumanist pre-post-cyborg avatars, extensions of neurotic backstories inherited from redundant social structures that only serve to keep people in their place. The Voice Party proposes opera and operatic character as pure, truthful embodiment of oneself, of the present, and future potentialities that are free of these outmoded patriarchal colonialist paradigms. We as humans could become more like quite literally free as the birds. This would automatically address ideals of inclusivity, as this is inbuilt into the very structure of the piece. It is a known fact also that musical activity has a profound impact on the way in which the human brain functions. It makes the left and right brain more integrated, better at connecting thoughts, memories and emotions. It has a calming and invigorating effect on the brain. It encourages both independence and social cohesion. It encourages, in short, the person to think for themselves, possibly immunizing them against lies and media mendaciousness, and makes that person more confident. Little wonder then that it is banned, or at least controlled, in totalitarian states. I would now like to give you a brief breakdown of the rest of the Voice Party manifesto and members as they stood in the 2019 election. The Voice Party manifesto can be summed up by the following points. Number 1, the Voice Party is the only party you cannot join. It joins you. Number 2, the Voice Party aims to put music at the centre of UK politics by using musical forms as templates for social structures and by making musical activity mandatory in all institutions and businesses. Any organisation failing to implement this will be heavily fined via the Voxcoin system. 3. Fiscal policy. The Voice Party is not capitalist, hyper-capitalist or even anti-capitalist. Rather, it is a-capitalist. It is beyond capitalism. It has a specific fiscal policy and economic system and would put in place its own currency, the Voxcoin. 4. Housing policy. Everybody should have one. All architectural structures would have included as priority in their planning the acoustics of any new project. A building that has a wonderful acoustic as its primary objective will automatically enhance the health and well-being of the population and users of that building. It will also have as mandatory inbuilt plans for dedicated rehearsal and practice spaces. 5. Education policy. Music is obviously mandatory. All lessons of all subjects will be vocalised in song. History will be taught largely via musical history of all cultures. Science will be taught through the prism of music and sound. 6. Health policy. Everyone gets treatment when they need it. Music therapy is a daily practice. 7. Foreign policy. All refugees are welcome. It is mandatory to contribute to the musical activities of the UK on arrival. Although it is the Voice Party mission that all countries adopt the collaborative musical currency Voxcoin, in the meantime, as we still deal in ancient currencies, foreign aid will be tripled. Defence policy. We shall sing our enemies into submission. We will destroy them with the power of our voices. The Voice Party has already joined to it a front bench cabinet of advisors. Anyone who is on the front bench of the Voice Party must be musicians of some discipline. In addition to this, the Voice Party insists, if it were to be in power, that all politicians of all parties would go through a stringent blind audition to be allowed to serve, and must also be proficient in at least 2 languages in addition to their mother tongue. They must also have lived in another country for at least 3 years. The The front bench at the time of the election of the 12th of September 2019 was the party leader, Laurie Luxemburg, to be replaced as soon as possible by somebody else, Minister of Fluids and Fluidity, Bill Banks-Jones. Minister of Voxcoin, the Shadow Chancellor for the Exchequer, Natalie Raybould. Minister of Vintage Clothing, Environment, Farming and Fisheries, Heloise Werner. Minister of Knowledge and Mental Pleasures, Education, Martina Schwarz. Minister of Flirtatiousness and Charm, Home Secretary, Elise Lorraine. Minister of Earth, Wind and Fire, Transport, Joost de Kramer. Minister of Gatherings, Parties, Weddings, Funerals, End of the World Soirees, Richard Thomas. Perhaps you are sitting there thinking, this person is insane. These ideas are completely mad and non-implementable. But I ask you, what could be more insane than what we have in the UK right now? What could be more insane than spending billions on PPE in a pandemic that isn't up to standard and can't be used? What could be more insane than spending billions on a track and trace system that doesn't work? What could be more insane than several tons of lobster rotting on a quayside in Scotland because the government couldn't get the paperwork together in time? What could be more insane than Boris Johnson's haircut? Thank you for listening.
Should have music as part of their daily routine. No matter which, they'd have to pay a huge fine if they didn't do it.
Yeah, sounds good to me. If you were going to recommend an instrument to Boris Johnson and Jeremy Corbyn to learn, what would you recommend?
Well, I would recommend Boris Johnson to play the ocarina.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.